welcome back. I hope that you enjoy your lunch. The next two sessions are also amazing and very excites me a lot. And the next speaker is Gary Elias from Google. He's working at Zurich office at Google, and if you are a strong SEO follower, and most probably no way to know his name, after then Matt Cutts leave from Google, and I have seen that mostly John Mueller's and Gary's name, so he really sends great tweets and GIFs as well, GIFs. And then in the session we will listen to Gary. Thank you so much for joining us, Gary, and ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce Gary Elias.
Thank you. So yeah, I'm Gary. Oh, it's very hazy here. I'm Gary. I work as a trends analyst for Google Switzerland. I traveled like almost 24 hours, fortunately, to get to Istanbul. I'm extremely sleepy, so probably I will say lots of stupid crap. I'm a trends analyst, as I said. Basically, my job is to look at what webmasters are doing, what content owners are doing, and what can we do for them, and also how we can change search to better fit our user needs based on what content creators are doing. I was also working on ranking for a few years, basically on country and language-related ranking features. Today I want to talk to you about what's up with search, what happened this year in search, and what are we focusing on mostly the next year. I was thinking a lot about how to put this presentation. Then I tested this presentation at PopCon last week, I think, or the week before, I don't remember. I do two kinds of presentations when I'm doing keynotes. One is when I have like very well-prepared slides. This is not the case. I have crappy slides. Each slide will have one word or one phrase on them. Yeah, I'm not too good with slide creation. And then if I have like really nice slides, then I also have to stick to a very specific commentary, I guess, that was prepared by, with the help of our PR team. I don't like PR or what they prepare for us usually because it's very, well, it's very PR-y. The other kind of presentation that I do is freeform. That's pretty much what I'm doing now. Basically, I don't have a script. I'm just like telling you what I have on my mind. And this presentation will be a mixture of those. I do have some messages that I got from the PR team, but mostly it's coming from me, and I don't have a script. So let's dig in. This year, we brought back Google Dance. Google Dance is one of those freaking huge parties that we do for SEOs and content creators in Mountain View. We are expanding that to other countries as well. We also did one in Tokyo, for example, and hopefully we can do one in Turkey as well, depending how big is our office here. Basically, we bring content creators on site, and we have a nice discussion with them. Okay, nice, that wasn't a good word. We got lots of harsh feedback from the content creators, basically what we are not doing great or what we should improve. The feedback was that we should cut back, for example, on how many things we ask you guys to do. Basically, we tell you to do structured data and mobile and AMP and PWAs and all that crap. And you just get like overloaded. So we are trying to fix that, basically changing the message to do whatever makes sense to you. These are the things that we think are important. This is how they can help you, and you decide what to do. I split that presentation in two parts. First is search infrastructure and features. The second part will be about ranking. HTTPS. This is very close to my heart. I did a while ago, I don't remember when, 2013 or 2012, a ranking change that basically promoted a little bit HTTPS results in our in search. We haven't changed that, and we managed to convert more of the web to HTTPS. Why is it important to me, and why it should be important to you as well? Basically, if you don't like it, if people or ISPs are mangling with your pages, then HTTPS is a really good choice for you. Why? When I was in Vegas for PopCon, in my hotel, they were injecting really, really weird ads in my in the pages that were not HTTPS. You can do content injection on normal HTTP, which degrades the experience. For example, I was getting porn ads on a charity site, which was not HTTPS. I'm not sure if the charity site likes that. I definitely didn't like it. What we heard is that switching to HTTPS can be really hard. We were working with Let's Encrypt, for example, to provide an automated way to switch to HTTPS. Basically, you run one command line on your server, and the HTTPS or the certificates are installed by just like running that one command line. The other thing that we heard is that when you switch to HTTPS, then your traffic will go down in search. We worked with quite a few publishers, big and small, and we were analyzing what, if anything, went wrong with their migration. And we identified quite a few bugs on our end that we fixed by now. And for example, Yelp reported that their HTTPS migration went great. They didn't lose any traffic, which is really, really great for me. I love that. Mobile. If you haven't heard it before, mobile is kind of big. We were saying this for probably like 7, 8 years now. I could talk to you about mobile, how it is important, but I think you heard that before, and hopefully everyone has a mobile site by now. If you don't have a mobile site, then just, well, what's wrong with you? Why, just, we are doing quite a few changes on the mobile front. Basically, we are removing, for example, the mobile labels from our search results. We found that 85% of our results are mobile-friendly by now, so it doesn't really make sense to show mobile-friendly label for every single result. We are also removing the labels for 2 other kinds of results. One is for results that point to pages that have content that you can't see on your mobile phone, like Flash, for example. The other one is for faulty redirects. One of them was launched in the US only. I don't remember which one, but we are going to put up a blog post about that. On mobile still, we announced that starting early January, I think January 10th, we are going to consider pages that have elements that block the content as not mobile friendly. Basically, if you have pop-ups or interstitials on your pages that block the content for the user, then those pages will not be mobile friendly. And that's pretty big. I love that change. There are tons of sites that make use of these interstitials, and they are freakishly annoying. So I welcome that change. Accelerated mobile pages, or AMP. This is the part where I should tell you that you should go AMP, and AMP is amazing, and you should do it, and whatever. I will not do that. AMP, I will tell you that AMP is great. I use I use Google a lot for some reason. And when I see an AMP result, then I will have a slight preference for the AMP result. Why? Because it's blazing fast. When you click on an AMP result, then it will load extremely fast, and users love that. Fast sites or fast pages will convert better. There are statistics about this. Look it up. It's really, really great for the user. Should you switch to AMP? I don't know. It's your choice. But if you don't have a mobile site yet, which, again, what's wrong with you, then accelerated mobile pages is great for you because AMP is mobile-friendly by default. The other thing is, if you are trying to speed up your site, your mobile version at least, again, AMP is great for you because it's blazing fast. I don't remember the number, but I think it's something like it loads 10 times faster, or 4 times faster, 4 times faster, 4 times faster than traditional HTML. Again, that's great for you. And also, you can sell these services if you are an SEO. Next. OK, so this blew up on me at PopCon. This was the biggest thing that I had in the presentation. Then someone took very specific words that I said, and they created an article about it, and that blew up on me. We are switching our index to mobile. Right now, what you see on the mobile search results, those snippets, those results are ranked based on desktop version of the content. That's stupid. We get more mobile searches than desktop searches, and 85% of our results are already mobile friendly. So ranking those results based on desktop content, that just doesn't make sense. So last year, I started talking about how we are running an experiment to see if we can at least augment our search results, our search index with mobile results. We were experimenting with this for at least a year, and we got to a stage where we are confident to say that we are going to switch to a mobile-first index. That means that in some specific cases, we will still have the desktop content in our search index, but the primary index that will consist of the mobile content. And this is big. You have to think about this. It's not going to happen tomorrow or in 2 weeks. It's going to take many months to get there. But think about this. Know that the mobile content will be the big one, or the important one, the primary one. We did see some problems with the mobile content. On the mobile web, there are fewer tokens, fewer words on the page than on the desktop web. If you put side by side a mobile version of a page and the desktop version, usually the desktop version has considerably more text, useful or not, than the mobile version. What you want to do is to think about what content from the desktop page is important for you to be on the mobile page, and port that to the mobile page. If you want to rank for that specific content. If you don't want to rank for that content, then sure, you don't have to. The other problem that we've seen is with links. Links are still a quite important ranking factor for us. And on the mobile web, we see fewer links. People just don't tend to link that much on the mobile web. Whether it's bad or good, I don't know. And the third problem was with structured data. People put up structured data on their desktop pages. For whatever reason, probably because we don't use the mobile version of the content, they don't put the structured data on the mobile version of the pages. We have to fix that. We will blog more about this, and we will be we will communicate a lot about this mobile-first indexing in the next few months. But you want to put your structured data, if you care about it, you want to put your structured data on the mobile version of the page as well. Is there anything else I want to tell you about mobile-first indexing? Probably not. OK. Next section is about ranking, spam, and other related features. Earlier this year, well, no, that was actually last year. But I think it's really important, so I wanted to draw your attention to it. We released our rating guidelines. When we launch a new ranking feature, like Penguin, for example, or Panda, or RankBrain, or whatever, we can do two kinds of evaluation. One is a percent experiment, where we change the ranking algorithm for 1% of our users, for example. It doesn't have to be 1%, I just said something. And then we look at how they like the new results, the modified results. If they like the modified results, then there's a good chance that new ranking change will launch. It's much easier to get approval from the leads for positive ranking changes. The other way that we evaluate ranking changes is with raters. Raters are human beings who are vendors, and basically we ask them to compare two sets of results. On one side, they have the modified results. On the other side, they have the unmodified results. They don't know which one is the modified result. And basically, if they say, or the vast majority of the raters say that the modified results look better, then again, we launch this. These raters, the human raters, have very specific guidelines as to how to make that decision. It's not just like, OK, this one looks better. They have to think about specific things, have to look at specific things. And the rater guidelines is what details those things, what they have to look at. You can find the rating guidelines online on Google. Just search for Google Rater Guidelines. And if you are interested in what we consider quality content, then read it. Note of warning, it's a really long and really boring document. It's really, really boring. I tried reading it. I fell asleep like 3 times. It's also very long. It's 160 pages, I think. So the chance you will fall asleep many times, it's like really high. But it does detail what we consider quality. So if you are interested in that, then this is a good document for you. I'm fairly certain that you already heard about this today. There's this ongoing craze about machine learning and how search engines use machine learning in search. Yes, search engines use machine learning in search. Why? Because it's a great tool that we can use. It doesn't mean that we use machine learning for everything. It's not true that we are using it for everything. And it's very, very unlikely that it will take over our core ranking algorithm in the foreseeable future. Why? Because we like to know what happens in our search results. Typically, machine learning, especially with deep machine learning where you have multiple layers of neural networks, it's extremely, extremely hard, or even impossible to debug why certain decisions were made by the machine learning algorithm. That's really, really, really bad for us. Our search results are, I would like to think, are great because we are able to debug them. We are able to tell internally why specific results ended up on a specific position. If we have the whole algorithm, the whole ranking algorithm replaced by machine learning, we lose that ability. Probably they would, or that machine learning algorithm would, again, probably increase the quality of our results, but then long term, we would not be able to proceed further from there. We would not be able to improve the results further because we wouldn't be able to debug the results anymore. And this leads us to RankBrain. For whatever reason, one side of our PR team decided that it would be a good idea to talk about RankBrain. I'm very certain that it wasn't good for me and for my team. But sure, if it's out, then let's talk about it a bit more. You probably read multiple articles about RankBrain, and you probably also read how it changes everything, like everything. Like SEO is not the same anymore because of RankBrain. And, well, it's not true. RankBrain was announced, I think, last October or November or something like that. We launched RankBrain many months before that. And we were using it actively in ranking. No one noticed that we launched it. People were using the exact same SEO tactics that they were using before. They were creating amazing websites. They were creating amazing web experiences on their website. They were buying links. Oh, I'm sorry, they were acquiring links. And everything just worked. It was beautiful. But then someone decided that RankBrain changes everything. Well, if it worked for many months for you with RankBrain in the ranking algorithm, what does it change really? It doesn't change anything. You do the same thing that you did before, and it will work. RankBrain will just help you rank better with natural, if your content is in natural language. That's it. Basically, if you can read out your content and it sounds natural to you, like sounds like is a discussion, for example, then you will do great. That's it. That's what it changes. Nothing else. Anyway, I worked myself up. Next, Panda. I'm fairly certain that you already forgot about Panda. Like, no one cares about Panda. We stopped talking about Panda. Panda is still working. It's doing great. Thank you for asking. But we stopped talking about it because we don't think it's good to focus on it. Internally, we think about Panda as an adjuster rather than like a penalty or any sort of algorithmic action. Basically, if we see that a page or a result doesn't deserve to rank where it ranks currently, and the vast majority of the results from a site tend to do that, rank on a position where they shouldn't, then those are the results that will be affected by Panda. It doesn't penalize in any way. That's why, or we think it doesn't penalize because essentially what it does is to push back those results to the position where they belong. It's not like Panda will push out those results or push down the results to oblivion, like a -50 penalty or whatever. It's more like it pushes down a few results, basically taking away the advantage that somehow those results got by using, I don't know, keyword stuffing or link buying or whatever. And that's what it does. That's it. The other reason why we don't talk about it is that we helped someone publish a really great article about it. Last year, I was bugging one of the leads for probably like 2 months to create a comms doc for Panda. Historically, we didn't say almost anything about Panda. There were like these floating ideas what Panda is doing, and we were very, very vague about what it's doing. I thought that's bad. So what we were trying to do is to come up with few points that we can actually say about Panda. Fortunately, this ranking lead that I managed to find, who was also very open to being transparent, managed to convince the other ranking leads that, yes, we should create a comms doc for this. And as soon as we were in the last round of approvals for the comms doc, that we wanted to actually convert into a post or something similar, someone, Jennifer Slag, from the sempost.com, wrote in with very, very specific Panda questions, but tons of them, like, I don't know, like 30 questions about Panda. And we thought that she has a very good record. Basically, her articles are very sane, and even if not always Google positive, at least they are very logical. So we thought that it would be great if we could do 2 things with one gun or one stone. Basically, we wanted to be more transparent. We wanted to help her, like reward her in some way, and we answered most of her questions that she sent us. And that's how her article was born. It's our canonical article right now for Panda. Basically, if people ask us about Panda, then we point them to that article. If you are interested, then just search for Panda, the SEM post. Next, I'm fairly certain it's Penguin, but yes, it's Penguin. Of course, it's Penguin. Yeah, it took a while to release this Penguin. I think it's Penguin 4. Internally, we don't like have these version numbers for it, but I think externally it's called Penguin 4. Do you guys know what was the first question I got after I published that blog post about Penguin? And I'm serious, like that serious. It was, when are we releasing the next iteration of Penguin? Like, right when we published this blog post. It's really sad. I think this iteration of Penguin is one of the nicest web spam launches that we had. Why? Because traditionally, web spam algorithms tend to push down results. And they tend to affect, the algorithms at least, they tend to affect whole sites versus like pages or sections of site. That's not quite nice, I would say, but in most of the cases, it's well-deserved. For example, if you are buying links, then that's against like, our guidelines, so yeah, you kind of deserve it. But this iteration of Penguin doesn't do that anymore. What it does is to discount spam signals that are coming towards your site. It's not penalizing anymore. It will not push you down. If all your links coming to your site, for example, are bad, then it will discount all those links. And then you can build new links that might be good. And that could help you with ranking, but the bad links would be discounted. The other thing that it's really, really nice about it is that it doesn't affect the whole site. It's it can be very, very granular, even down to page level. So basically, if Penguin discounts the links to one of your pages, that doesn't mean that your whole site is affected by Penguin. It just means that that particular page is affected, and that's it. And even that is not penalized. It just has the links discounted. There's a third thing about Penguin that I should tell you, but I completely forgot what it should be. So I will probably not tell you about it unless I can come up with it. Yeah, I can come up with it, sorry. OK, let's see what's the next. I don't have next. That means that we have 15 minutes for questions. I hope that you have 15 minutes worth of questions, otherwise we are in trouble. Or we can go have coffee, which would be really, really great.
I think for
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have. That's great.
It will be
Thank you.
500, be sure. So maybe we can, if we have 15 minutes, yeah, we can make a
Well,
long
by now
Q&A.
it's 14:40.
Maybe we can start with Andre.
OK, I would just go there. I have no idea how this will work.
I don't know where the mic is, so I was wondering if,
you know what I can do?
no, the mic is here. Just kidding. So
I wanted to ask about the mobile first indexing
Okay.
topic, because you said that's going to roll out sometimes through the next few months, and there's basically three things of the shortage: not as much content, not as many links, and not as many structured data. So the structured data is kind of the easiest part. But
Yeah.
I was wondering especially about, so when you said links, I assume you referred external links between websites.
Yeah.
But one shortage that I often see with mobile websites is internal linking, because probably I'll just show my, I don't know, in a shop context, I'll show my top categories,
Yeah.
but probably not all. There'll be another click away. I show a bit of content, but probably not the whole thing, but next is a click away. So I want to make I conceptually change the character of my website to fit mobile needs. And then I'm obviously not showing all the links, not showing all the content, because I think it's actually better for the user.
Yeah.
And then I'm afraid that because my internal linking is also a kind of a communication towards the search engine, it shows in the end, through the informational structure, how important is what.
Yep.
So what are your thoughts on how should webmasters deal with that actually, specifically, you know, having the user intent in mind, change the appearance of the mobile search experience?
Yeah.
But then again, you want to judge them for it when it's going to, it could backfire, because I cannot show you all the quality because I don't want to, because it does make less sense in a mobile context.
Yeah. So there are two things here. I think that the desktop web, as it is right now, it's overly optimized. It's over-optimized for search engines. So I think that switching to a mobile index from that point of view makes tons of sense, because the mobile web is not so over-optimized for desktop. The other thing is that you are already showing for your users the content that you think those users deserve or they need to make a decision, to convert, to learn about something, to whatever. And same is true for the links. Like if you want your users to go to another page from one specific page, then you put that link there. You didn't put them there, or you don't put that link there for search engines. Like you see this. Yeah, but probably that's exactly what they need, what current users need. Basically, if you have, I don't know, you have a page about penguins, and you also include on the desktop page related animals or more species of penguins, then maybe on mobile that's not the right way to present it. Maybe it's like you have to split up that page and go more specific on those pages. But anyway, I think the correct answer would be that we are still looking at these details, and how we think about it currently is not that clear. We are going to communicate way more about this, and my plan is to convince everyone inside that as we find new problems and as we figure out solutions to those problems, we would communicate more. We would put up blog posts, probably not tweet, because soon I will be fired for tweeting too much. You can do Instagram. Yeah, Instagram. No one follows Instagram. Oh, sorry. All right, next. Come on, there were tons of questions. Let's go this way. What was it? I can have that if you want. No? Okay.
Thank you. Does that mean that spam is definitely handled by Google and it doesn't work anymore? That was the troll question of the day. Sorry.
Yeah, the spam fighters are now fired. It's like everything is fixed. No, I don't think that spam is like definitely handled, and I definitely think that there are like spamming techniques that would still work. I will not tell you which ones, but there are definitely things that would still work even with Penguin, even with Penguin. We do have a massive manual actions team. Oh yeah, that's what I should have pointed out in Penguin. Basically, Penguin now discounts all the links, right? Which are bad. But that doesn't mean that you cannot be hit by the manual actions team, for example, for buying links or for doing link exchange or whatever you want to do. So be cautious then. Like, just because Penguin discounts the links, that doesn't mean that we want you to experiment with like links and to buy links like crazy. That's not what we want. We want like a healthy link network, and we do reserve the right to maintain the integrity and quality of our results, if need be, with manual actions. Sure.
My question is a little bit more specific than this, regarding the backlinks.
Okay.
So I guess in different languages, like in Turkish, how do you interpret the backlink? Is a bad backlink or a good backlink? And also, we see that our competitors are purchasing from some sites which sell to everyone, and they are higher in ranking than us. Meanwhile, while we are really trying to acquire backlink via bloggers. Mm-hmm. So how do you interpret? I really appreciate your transparency in this.
Okay, this is the one case where I can be transparent because I don't work on the manual actions team. I was working on the ranking team. Fortunately, we do have someone here from the manual actions team. I don't know if he wants to like stand up and answer that question. But basically, we are looking at, we do have manual actions team for Turkish. And they are manually looking at links if need be, and making decision whether they should demote results or demote sites or not. It's Turkish, fortunately, or Turkey is fortunately one of those countries where we do have someone who does look at these things. And hopefully, on the midterm, mid to long term, the results and these tactics wouldn't work anymore. It's not an easy problem, and hopefully we can improve our algorithms as well to handle these things better. But yeah, currently we have the manual actions team, and the manual actions team is taking care of these things on case-by-case basis. Behind you, there's...
Hello.
Hi.
I'm an SEO consultant, and most of my clients, besides technical SEO issues, I always advise you need great content, write detailed product descriptions instead of ready ones come from manufacturers.
Yep.
Don't write these short blogs, but you need very insightful blogs, etc. But I'm hearing always the same question from them. These, our competitors are not making what you are suggesting us, but they are ranking high.
Right.
What you suggest? How can we answer this?
So, were you here for Rand's presentation, Rand Fishkin's presentation? Yeah. Did he talk about 10x content? Okay, so I think Rand has a way better answer to this than I have. They came up with this 10x concept. Basically, if you want to really rock in your niche, then you want to create 10x content. Your site has to be your content has to be 10 times better than your competitors. That's what they should aim for, not because Google told him or her, but because like an external SEO professional who's called even a wizard said that that's what you are aiming for, or that's what you should aim for. I mean, if you want to rock your niche, then create 10 times better sites than your competitors. That's it. Let's go on that side. Or this side, and then we don't have.
So with the change for interstitials that's rolling out in January, there's a lot of well-trusted large sites that use interstitials for language selection and that sort of thing. And so is this going to be a blanket interstitials, or is there going to be some instances where it's okay?
It's not blanket. Oh, boy, I wish I would remember that blog post that we put up, but I don't. There are exceptions to this rule. So, for example, if you have cookie interstitials, for example, or legal interstitials, or I think even login, then those would be excluded. Probably not login. Login doesn't make sense. But there are exceptions to this rule. In any way, even if you have a good reason to put these up, you would still want to figure out whether you are annoying your users or not with it. I would definitely recommend running A/B experiments even before the release date and see what users prefer. Because what we are doing is a reflection of what we saw that users want. Basically, if your users prefer more a freaking huge interstitial saying that let's go to Argentina, then okay, whatever. We haven't taken one from there. Let's go there somewhere. Of course now, oh, there you are, of course. You will get 2 mics.
Yay. Okay, so on the mobile thingy, you mentioned structured data and how it should be implemented more on on the mobile HTML. Right. So a lot of sites have responsive design. Does this mean that you're going to try to push JSON-LD as a preferred markup method for structured data, since that's no longer the need to mark up individual HTML? So,
I would like to think that we are not going to push anything anymore, strongly at least. We are going to have suggestions, and then you go from there. But JSON-LD is one of the things that we want to make happen. It's much cleaner and way easier to use than any other structured data or structured markup. So in general, I think it makes sense to have that. And I know that that's the structured data guys' preferred markup method. Whether we want to push it or we want to make, whether we want to push it, I'm not sure about that. I think the messages use whatever makes sense for you. But yes, we like JSON-LD.
Okay.
Okay. What?
That was
you.
me.
Okay, I think we have time for one more question, and that's it, right? No? Yes?
Sorum Türkçe olacak. Herhalde birisi çevirecek.
Someone will translate, don't worry.
Okay. PubCon'da mobil arayüzünün değişeceğini söylendi. Ancak bunun hakkında bir detay veremedi. Burada verebilir mi?
That's what
In the PubCon Summit, it was said that the mobile version of the search, arama sonuçlarından bahsediyoruz.
Evet,
değil mi?
evet.
Mobile version of
We are going to communicate way more about this in the next few weeks or next few months. Right now, the message is that just think about how to build your mobile website or how to change your mobile website for a mobile-first world. What do you want on your mobile site that you want to rank for, and how to balance between like overloaded page versus like very trimmed down page that right now you have. But yes, we are going to communicate way more about this. That's it?
Yes, I think that's it. And thank you for the transparent answers, Gary. I think it's much more transparent than anybody does this job in Google before, I think. It's my personal option, and
thank you.
It's a pleasure to listen to you in Digital Zone Stream, and hope to see you in next year.
I can't promise that, but I will try to come.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.